loadouts are integral to your play experience at the war zone. They also serve as a balancing aspect to the overall game. A good loadout should emphasize your natural strengths as a player. First, let's talk about what a loadout is, and then we'll talk about a couple aspects that you need to consider when choosing your own loadout. Loadouts are restricted to one primary, one secondary, one knight, and one class. That class is going to come with two perks. One is a pre-game perk that you get to use before the game begins. The second perk is a mid-game perk that you use during the game to gain an advantage or to determine your respawn time. To keep people from wearing too many items at once and not being able to feel when they get tagged out, you're also limited to 2 forms of ammo carrier and 1 form of holster or sling to be used at one time. It could be any combination. It could be 2 sets of magazine carriers, or it could be 2 battle pouches. Nonetheless, you're limited to 1 sling or holster, something that you're using to keep your weapon attached to your body. A primary is any rival firing blaster, the little foam balls, not the darts. Any rival firing blaster with an ammo capacity between 13 and 100. Primary blasters can be electronic, they just can't be automatic. To use automatics, we'll go over that later. A secondary is any rival firing blaster with an ammo capacity between 1 and 12. It can be an internal magazine or an external magazine. It just can't have an ammo capacity of over 12 rounds. If it does use a magazine, your magazine needs to be within that limit, or else the blaster becomes a primary. At any time, you can also substitute your secondary blaster as a primary. No problem at all. Swords, the melee weapon, are technically a secondary and can be used by any player. Secondaries can also be electronic as long as they only fire in single fire. They can't be automatic. In order to use one of these cool tools behind me here, like a shield, or this joust, or maybe one of these automatic blasters. Also included are things like this, the power fists, and any half-dart firing blaster, something that shoots the darts instead of the foam balls. You have to use a perk in order to use one of these highly advantageous weapons. Generally, that perk is going to make you exchange either your primary or secondary to gain access to use one of these other tools. And again, these tools are locked behind perks in order to keep the game more balanced.
Hello, moderator. How may I assist you? Please select your new class. Sniper selected. Please wait while I update your information. Battle tag updated to Sniper. Stay sharp out there.
Now, let's get into the classes. Classes are a specifically designed set of perks and abilities you can unlock in order to enhance your personal gaming experience in a way you find advantageous. Now, like most other strategic gaming experiences, not everybody goes about it in the same way. It's important to take your time, experiment with these classes, read all the perks, all the abilities, and make sure you've chosen one that's most complementary to you and your playstyle.
All right, so what class do you pick? Well, sorry, but this one's getting pushed back onto you. What do you like? What are you looking for? Do you want to respawn faster? Do you want to be able to use a shield? Do you want to be able to use an overpowered automatic blaster? Are you really into melee? Do you like bow and arrow? Do the power fists sound cool to you? Does starting the game outside your dugout and already in an advantageous position like upstairs sound interesting to you? The classes are built in a way that each player should feel like they have balanced freedom in their choices of pre-game and mid-game perks. Alright, now to the main aspects you should be considering when designing your personal loadout. First, start with what class you're using. What class you're using is going to be determining what perks you have access to, as well as what other special items you have access to. The next thing is your primary slot. Are you exchanging your primary slot for something special, or are you using a primary? Are you looking for more ammo capacity, or are you looking for a little bit more mobility around corners and things? After you've picked a primary, now it's time to pick a secondary. What are you looking for in a secondary? Do you want mobility? Do you want melee for the versatility and not having to worry about ammo? Something with a little more firepower, something that is electronic, something with a high rate of fire. Keep in mind that anytime you choose an electronic blaster, you're going to be giving up a little bit of the stealth advantage. That's because each time you fire one of these blasters, there's a rev switch that activates first, which is kind of noisy. Might let somebody know that you're sneaking up on them. Last but not least, the ammo carriers and holsters. I suggest that everybody utilizes at least a battle pouch, something that they can keep raw ammo inside, as well as something to attach their key tag to for quick, easy access when respawning or interacting with mid-game perks. If you're going to be using a primary that you know you'll be swapping over to your secondary with a lot, I would suggest a sling, something that will allow you to basically just drop your primary right after firing, so that way you can switch to a secondary. If you're using a blaster that utilizes magazines, you're also going to want some way to carry those magazines. Final tip, everybody is allowed to carry a knife. No matter what class you're using, no matter what you're doing with your loadout, everybody can bring a knife. I strongly suggest that you keep a knife in your loadout in case you run out of ammo, your blaster breaks, the battery dies, or you just need to poke somebody around a corner without risking it. Once you know a little bit about what you like, how you like to play, choose your class, pick a primary, secondary, and then make sure you have some way to carry ammo and always bring a knife. Hopefully, now you know what a loadout is and things to consider when designing your own loadout. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Be sure to subscribe.